Welcome back to Anatomy and Physiology on Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, we're going to discuss physical parameters of respiration, and then we're going to be doing some calculations with these. So this is something when you first see it, it looks like a lot. We're going to break it down here and see that actually doing the problems with these are actually not too terrible. You really only have to memorize a few things, but let's get to it. And we're first going to look at this graph right here, and then we're going to piece together these four things. All right. Now these numbers are just, average values. When you're actually given problems, you'll be given these numbers. Okay, and they can actually differ quite a bit. And depending on the person's respiratory health, these numbers can vary greatly. So first, let's look at TV, which is tidal volume. This is the volume of air inspired per breath. So this is quiet breathing. If you're just sitting on your couch doing nothing, this is going to be your quiet breathing, inhaling and exhaling. So here's our inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. And pretty much from your totally inhaled state to your totally exhaled state, the difference in volume between those, that's the amount of air that represents the tidal volume. Okay? And the key is this is quiet breathing. It's not forced. When we start looking at forced, we're looking at the IRV or the ERV. Okay? So first let's look at the ERV, which is the expiratory reserved volume. So this is the volume of air expired after a passive quiet expiration, also called exhalation. Okay? So imagine quiet breathing. So you're breathing in, out, it's usually pretty slow. Now imagine as you're doing that quiet breathing, you do one final exhalation, so a quiet exhalation, and then after you've done that exhalation, then you force the rest of the air that you could possibly get out. Do a forced exhalation after the passive exhalation. So you're just breathing and then you just exhale out as much as you can. That amount that you exhale above what you've already exhaled during the passive breathing, that is the expiratory reserve volume. Okay. Now, the inspiratory reserve volume, or IRV, kind of the same thing except it's for inspiration. So if you imagine you are breathing in, out, and then while you're quietly breathing during the last inhalation of quiet breathing, then you inhale maximally, okay, as much as you could possibly inhale in. So you're just quietly breathing and take the maximal breath in. That is the inspiratory reserve volume. So by definition, it's the volume of air inspired into the lungs after a maximal inspiration beyond quiet inspiration. Okay? Then we have what's called the residual volume, or RV. This is the volume of air left in the lungs after a maximal expiration. So basically imagine just exhaling every bit of air you could possibly get out of your lungs. It turns out that even if you do that, there's still some amount of air that you really can't get out of your lungs. That amount is the residual volume, or RV. Okay? These are our four basic parameters. Everything else that we look at is just going to be a mixture of two or three of these, or in one case, all of them. One way I like to think about it is learn these in order from top to bottom. So we have inspiratory reserve volume at the top, then tidal volume, then expiratory reserve volume, and then residual volume. So learn these in order. Now if we combine the first two, so inspiratory reserve volume and tidal volume, that gets us something called inspiratory capacity. And notice that in this example, if we assume the IRV is 3100 mils and the tidal volume is 500 mils, then the inspiratory capacity is just the sum of those. So 3600 mils. So if we wanted to express it mathematically as an equation, the inspiratory capacity is the sum of the inspiratory reserve volume plus the tidal volume. That's our inspiratory capacity. Down here is the other half of it, the functional residual capacity, FRC. This is just the sum of the expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. And so if we add these two together, 1200 and 1200 in this example, we get a functional residual capacity of 2400 mils, right? These two, I like to just remember them, assuming you know these four in order. Inspiratory capacity is the first two on top. Functional residual capacity is the bottom two, so the last two, okay? Now this one over here is very important. This one is vital capacity. Vital capacity is essentially everything except the residual volume. So it's basically taking you from a maximal exhalation all the way to a maximal inhalation. So what is the total volume of air you could possibly hold in your lungs other than the residual volume? And so the vital capacity, you just add together the inspiratory reserve volume, the tidal volume, and the expiratory reserve volume. And that's your vital capacity. If you then take that vital capacity and then tack on the residual volume, you now have the total lung capacity, which is obviously not what we deal with all the time because we're not able to get out that residual volume. But the total lung capacity is just the sum of all four of these. Okay? You should learn all of these, but we're going to do some problems. I'm going to show you a method how to do them, and it'll actually work the problems. And I think by actually doing this method, not only will it help you do the problems, but it'll also help you learn these things in the process. So you can just straight up try to memorize them, or you can actually apply these things, these rules and these methods for the calculations, and you'll learn it better in the process. Okay, so we're going to start looking at some calculations. And I'm going to first go over 3 general steps. It might not make a lot of sense while I'm going over this, but I'm going to do some examples on paper for you in this video, and then hopefully you'll get a better grasp of that. So these are steps in calculating these physical parameters of respiration. What I'm always going to do is draw 5 horizontal lines stacked on top of one another. Now I'll show you this in a minute, but essentially the first horizontal line is this one, the second one's this one, the third one's here, fourth one's here, and the fifth one's here. And basically between the first line and the second line, that's going to be where the IRV is. Between the second line and the third line, that's where the TV is, and so on and so forth. So you draw those 5 horizontal lines. Then you're going to use vertical arrows to label everything that you know, because you're going to be given some pieces of data. You might be given the inspiratory capacity, so you just need to know that's from the first line down to the third. Okay? And of course that's going to be the IRV plus the TV, but it's going to be the first line down to the third. You might be given the vital capacity. That's the first line down to the fourth. Okay? And then once you've filled in everything you know, you're going to use vector subtraction and vector addition to calculate the unknown quantity. Now, if this doesn't make a lot of sense, let's go right to the examples. That's the best way to do it. Just jump right into it. But understand one thing very quickly. You may not need every piece of information that you're given. Okay? So just bear that in mind. So now that we've introduced these respiratory parameters, what I want to do is show you actually how to work some problems. And so first let me show you the problem, and then I'm going to show you the strategy, and then we'll actually work the problem. So for example, we could be given some information like this. We have a vital capacity of 3,800 milliliters, an inspiratory capacity of 1,200 milliliters, and a residual volume of 2,800 milliliters, and we're asked to calculate the expiratory reserve volume. So we have problems like this. So what I'm going to do when I want to calculate these quantities is I'm going to draw 5 lines like this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in between each of these, there's a different region represented. So for example, at the top, this would be my inspiratory reserve volume. Okay? This one is my tidal volume. Here is my expiratory reserve volume, and then residual volume is down here. And of course, there's a few other quantities that we can talk about. For example, the distance from here to here, that's my functional residual capacity. If I were to take all of this combined, oops, that's nasty, that would be my total lung capacity. And then just from the top down to the bottom of the expiratory reserve volume, that is my vital capacity. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a setup just like this. I won't necessarily label these every time, but I'm just going to do the problem in terms of filling in everything that I know. And eventually I'll be able to figure out what the missing quantity is. Okay? And sometimes I won't end up needing every piece that I'm given. So let's actually work the first problem right here. So we have this information and we're asked to calculate the expiratory reserve volume. All right, so the first step, I'm going to draw those 5 lines, always 5. Now let's just start filling in what we know. We know the vital capacity is 3,800 mils. So that means from here to here, that is 3,800 mils. I'll leave off units for now. Remember, the vital capacity is the IRV plus the TV plus the ERV. And also this method is also good for learning how you actually figure these things out, what each quantity is the sum of. So it actually helps with that as well, right? I also know my inspiratory capacity, this quantity right there, that's 1,200 milliliters. And then I also know the residual volume, which is really just this, that's 2,800. All right, and let's think about what I'm asked to calculate. I'm asked to calculate the expiratory reserve volume. That's just really this, right? This right here, this region, that is the expiratory reserve volume. So really, what it boils down to is it's the length of this arrow minus the length of this one, right? So it's really just this 3,800 ml minus the 1,200, right, ml. Because this inspiratory capacity of 1,200 plus this expiratory reserve volume, that has to be the length of this one, which is 3,800. And so I'm just going to do a simple subtraction problem here, and my ERV, or expiratory reserve volume, is going to be 2,600 ml. Okay? So that's one example of a problem where we're using these respiratory parameters. Let's do the second one. So again, we draw our 5 lines like that. Now in this case, we're given different quantities and asked to calculate the FRC, or functional residual capacity. So first we have our total lung capacity. So all of this is 5,400 ml. We know our tidal volume. Tidal volume is right here. That's 350, okay? Our IRV is 900, so inspiratory reserve volume's up here. So that's 900. Our expiratory reserve volume, so that's this right there, that's 2,800. And we are asked to calculate the functional residual capacity. So what we're actually calculating is the sum of the expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. So we're asked to calculate this. Okay. Now again, remember I said we wouldn't necessarily need everything. So let's think about this. We know the total lung capacity. Okay. What if we knew this quantity right here? Well, if we were able to take the 5,400, the total lung capacity, and subtract this, so meaning we took 5,400 milliliters minus this region right there, that would give us our functional residual capacity. Well, we do know what X is. It's the 900 and the 350, right? So if I want to calculate this, which is my functional residual capacity, I just need to take 5,400, first minus the 900, and then minus the 350. And then that will give me my functional residual capacity. So I'm going to take a minute, plug this into a calculator, because I don't feel like making a mistake right now. And so when I get this, I calculate it, I get 4,150 milliliters. And so this would be my functional residual capacity in this problem. All right, let's go ahead and do one more example. So again, we're going to draw our 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just fill in this based on what we're given. Our expiratory reserve volume, that's this, that is 1,250 milliliters. Residual volume, that's this, that's 800. Our inspiratory capacity is all of this. So it's actually the IRV, inspiratory reserve volume, plus the tidal volume. This is, as we see here, inspiratory capacity, 3,000. Make that a 0. And then our inspiratory reserve volume, so that's just this region, that is 2,800. And we're asked to calculate the vital capacity. Now again, we're not going to need everything here. Okay? Vital capacity is from the top all the way down here. That's our vital capacity. Okay? Well, we already have that information. We will not end up needing the inspiratory reserve volume, and we will not end up needing the residual volume. Because the vital capacity, this arrow is just the length of this one plus this one. Actually, we can very generally say the vital capacity is the inspiratory capacity plus the expiratory reserve volume. And so this just ends up being this 3,000 ml plus our expiratory reserve volume, which is 1,250 milliliters. Okay, and so if we add this together, I don't need a calculator for this, hopefully I'm right, 4,250 ml, and that is our vital capacity. So this is one good method, always works, for determining an unknown respiratory parameter based on some other information that you're given. You draw these 5 lines based on what we talked about in the first half of the video, and then you basically just draw arrows that represent the quantity and just fill in what you know. Most of the time you won't end up needing every single quantity, but you can fill everything in and then ultimately calculate the unknown quantity. Hopefully this made sense. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. Thank you very much.